Hello and welcome to another free code session. My name is Jason Bach, and if the camera's a little skewed, that's okay. I take the little camera off of my laptop, and when I go on a trip, which I had just done about a week or so ago, to Texas for VS Live in Austin, and then when I put it back on, I got to make sure it's aligned. I feel like my head is a little my head is a little low as I'm looking over to my right to see it, but we'll just go with it. So yes, I haven't done any recordings in a while. I've been doing a little bit of traveling, and thankfully, health-wise, everything seems fine from that perspective. The event didn't have as much attendance as it usually did, which isn't that uncommon for conferences, not just the COVID thing, but economy as well. It's not doing well. And so didn't surprise me that the numbers were lower, but of all the VS Live events, the one in Austin is usually the one I like the most, and this was no exception. Crowds are good, crowds are asking questions, and the conversations were good. So I enjoyed it. I'm now actually on vacation this week, and part of my vacation this week is to relax, have fun, and quite honestly, this is part of it. I enjoy making these videos. I enjoy doing this, and I wanted to get some more videos made so I can get them edited and uploaded and have that buffer again. I'm now out 3 weeks. So, and I don't just do this to keep just for the sake of doing it. I truly do enjoy it, but I also have to keep to a schedule. This is better than I was talking about this with somebody else. The whole streaming thing, I'm glad people do it. I'm glad people get enjoyment out of it. It just doesn't resonate with me as much. As a creator of content, I feel like you have to be on those days that you say you're going to be streaming. You don't have to, but I feel like that kind of forces it to be like when you may not be on your game or whatever you want to call it. This makes me be a little bit more flexible, and usually what happens is I have a how do you want to call it, a burst of creativity or whatever, and then I'll just do a bunch of videos, edit them, upload them, and then not do it for like a month or so. So, which is fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So, I just updated Visual Studio for all of the versions, including the previews. So I think actually now when you do preview, I think required members is now there, if I remember reading the release notes right. So, but before we get back to C# 11 features in Rocks, I'm going to do this one thing right here. And that thing is this one test where it's not actually compiling the generate code. It makes it, I believe, and it adds all these types, and then it eventually gets down here to where it runs the generation, and I think this is a test method I have. So it's given a type, and then for those types, it adds them, and then we generate code for that type. And if I remember right, make sure I got this was funny when I was presenting at VS Live, or whenever I present, I don't have my keyboard. And then I have to remember to always hit the function key when I'm hitting something. And then when I come back to this, I'm like, no, you don't need to do that, Jason. You can just hit the actual thing, and there you go. So this is using Rocks, just says go. It puts in a variable. It says create, and then there should be. Well, isn't that special? I have a bug in this now that I'm looking at this. If I'm saying generate makes, well, as you just saw when I'm generating the code here, there's no differentiation between the two. It will still say I'm going to do create, which is rather wrong. It's totally wrong. And we need to also fix that so that this method needs to know, are you doing a create or a make? And so it can generate the right code. But you see here, it runs the driver and then it updates the compilation, and then we say that we shouldn't have any diagnostics. But I think the thing I want to try to do today is get this so that it actually so that it actually builds it. It actually tries to build an assembly. Now that might make this test really slow, but I think it's necessary because one of the things that I've been fixing in rocks in recent episodes is the fact that the HTTP message handler, which I just added, was not correct. And you actually wouldn't know until you tried to compile the code and build it. So I don't. This I think just says run the driver and update the compilation. I'm not sure if this actually tells you if the generated code is wrong, because it would have here. We would have seen that. So that's what I want to try to do today, is get this so that it actually builds the code for the test. Okay. Now I'm also looking at this and going, I could use raw literal strings here. That'd be so much better. But that's the C#11 stuff. That's another thing I'm gonna have to do is, once I do this one, is merge the stuff back in from the main branch up into that, and then start going back down that road as well. Is valid target. Why would you do a valid target? So I wrote all this and I'm like, I'm not sure why I did, but oh well. So this is in 167. So let's make a new branch. 167 code generation test. We'll make a new branch. Okay. And I'm not going to curse myself. This could take 2, 3, 5 episodes for all I know. So what I really want to do too is, instead of having a test case for each of these, because it is possible, though I think I've got this set up so that I just know not to do this. But what I would want to do is, when I say types here, that's a concurrent bag. And a bag, I believe, is just like a list. We might want to do something like a concurrent hash set or something like that, so that we're giving a list of types. So there's a couple things we need to change here. So let's get right to it. Is there an enumeration type in rocks that tells you what you're trying to do? I could just look at the incremental generator and say, if you're a create generator, then do a create. If you're a make, then do a make. Because there's only 2 right now, and for the purposes of a test, I think I want to say, we'll say is. Come on, don't get into this where you're like taking like 20 minutes just to do stuff here. Okay, so what is create? So I'm gonna say var is create. That is equal to generator is rock create generator. Okay. But now it doesn't know what this is. So we're gonna say bool is create. Okay. So what we want to say here is we would want to say right here, if is create, we want to do a create. Otherwise, we want to do a make. Okay. There. So that's the first thing out of many things we want to do, but that fixes a bug. So I'm going to run the test from this class, and then I'll see if that works. And because these take a while, I'm going to pause it and then come back again. These tests do take some time, so we'll see if these run. Okay, they passed. Took for freaking ever to pass, but they passed. So we're good. That works. So let's at least commit this. I definitely need to up my game with my recording, because man, does this just crawl when I'm recording. So anyway, stop complaining. Okay, let that go. So that's one thing. Another thing I'm thinking of here is we need to pass in, really the same set of types, and there's no reason for us to do this test case. Okay, so I think another thing we want to do is say here, new concurrent hash. I thought there was there's a concurrent stack, concurrent queue, concurrent dictionary, and a concurrent bag. Yeah, that ain't good. Hold on just one sec. Okay, I did some searching, and there's a kind of a hackish way around it. You can do concurrent dictionary where that is your key, and then you just ignore the value. So you make it like a byte, one byte value, which, it's, you can say, so now types would be, come on, types, add or update. So you'd say add by the key, the target type, and then the add value is, you just say 0. The update would be you don't care, and you return a 0. And then you just do that. Okay. So then this here is types keys. This should give you a collection of keys. Oh, we could say, oh, okay, I was mistaken. I was actually doing all of them. But then what's discover types? What? Did you ever recode and kind of go, why did I do this? Types get you all of the types that you found that were valid. And then you just do an array on it to say discover types. So then why was I doing this? So the recording just crashed. I don't have any patience right now for trying to figure out what's up with Camtasia. So I just upgraded to 2022. Sadly, they're stopping their what they call their partnership program or whatever it is, and I've been using a license from that for being a Microsoft MVP, and now they're going to discontinue that. So I'll have to eventually shell out or decide to shell out money for it or not. Quite frankly, the 2022 experience has not been great so far, and I'm now debating whether to actually look at using something else other than Camtasia. I mean, 2020, 2021, they've been fine. In fact, I just switched to using the 2021 recorder because it remembers all the things that I did before, and the 2022 recorder, probably because it crashed, didn't remember, oh, I'm picking this camera and this mic, but for it just to crash like that, it was not good at all whatsoever. So not a good experience right out of the gate. TechSmith fixed stuff. The installation experience was just like kind of meh, and then I started it up, and it took like 5 minutes for it to start up. Why? I have no idea. No clue. So I think it stopped around 10-ish minutes when I was looking at it, so we'll kind of move from there. But anyway, so yes. Why is that complaining? Oh, it should be length now. Yes, okay. So this is going to be a keys. So we're saying we don't even need this anymore, right? Because we don't need that. We can just say types keys to array. And then that gets rid of that because we don't need it anymore. Well, fine. We can call these discovered types. And then once it takes 20 seconds to figure out that I'm renaming this, var types is equal to that. I'm going to say types here, and then, yep, there we go. Okay, and this was now discover types. Okay, and you can just pass in types. Refactoring is fun. Okay, so now I think we're in a better state. So why did we do all this? because eventually, yeah, my brain got a little fried. What I want to do is actually pass in these target types because I want to get all the assemblies, and I wanted to do something that was a hash set because I wanted to get unique entries. So what I really want to do here is have a private static read-only array of types, target types, which is equal to new. No. Oh, you're going to be smart, aren't you? I think. No, you're not. Oh, yeah, you are. That makes sort of sense, except you don't know. Okay, now I need to grab all these out. Yeah, you don't know what. Now segment. No, I'm saying I want a new type array. Now now it's just complaining because I don't have target types being used, but we'll fix that in just a second. And then we'll get rid of that, and then we'll put this in here. Get rid of that. We don't pass this anymore because we won't need to. This, although we still need to say these are tests. So. Okay, now we'll say here, gener. Well, you know, both of these are taking the same, so what's the point? We don't need to do this anymore. And we say code generation tests, target types. Oh, no. Just debating in my head for a second. We could, if we really wanted to, we could put another parallel for each around this. But what we can say is for each of our target type in code generation tests, target types. Not ideal. But now we can say here for every target type back to where it was. Okay. And meh. You know, I guess what I could do is what I'm really concerned about is the actual assemblies. So I could get a unique list of assemblies if I really wanted to be careful about this. I thought this would give me like a use target type new, but it does not seem to understand for an array what a target type new is. Okay, why are you complaining here? Oh, thank you. That, yeah, you're right. That needs to go away. Okay. So I'm debating in my head if I want to, can you do something like, where, why, and how? What did you just do? Could you say something like var assemblies is equal to code generation tests, target types, select assembly to hash set? There you go. Probably not. And now you could say here for var assembly and assemblies, and now you don't even need to do this. You can say assembly. There. It does. Does that look totally readable or what? Now that's like the most readable code I've ever seen in my life. You know, this is something I would look back on 6 years or whatever, even tomorrow later and go, dude, what were you thinking? It's very unreadable. But that's saying this type is a valid one. We want to pull that out, and then we just get our types. So yeah, it's a little messy, but I'm okay with it, you know. And this parallel for each, we get a unique set of assemblies. So yeah. Create from file target type. Well, I think we'd want to say you're concatenating the references. Could I say concat here and then do assemblies, select, and then say here, then this is going to feel really awful. Because we want to select out this, but then we're going to say here the location of it, and then we don't need to concat that on. We can just say concat that on. A little messy, but now we are metadata referencing the right stuff, I believe. So that should be good. Okay. So I have the feeling I'm telling myself I should never code while on vacation, because something's telling me that this is just maybe not quite, it feels good, you know, because I'm more relaxed. So I'm probably being a little bit more lax. Yeah. Because this says select. And then you just concat on this, you can cat on that, whatever. I'm going to pause it, run the tests, and we'll see what they do. Okay, 2 pass. Took 50 seconds for them to run, but 2 passed. So that's great. Why are you hovering over this? What should this be? Use assert that. Fine. Go ahead, end unit. Wait, what are you telling me to do? Use assert that collection has length equal to. Oh, no. Actually, I don't want to follow you here because I don't know how many types I'm going to actually find. So yeah, I just need to know that you found at least more than one or more than 0. You found something, but they both passed. Okay, that's good. Let's commit that. Nothing against tests being parameterized. It's just I don't need that right now. So okay, yeah, this is gonna be kind of weird. I'm just realizing the format of the saved videos is going to be different between the two. So hopefully 2022, the actual editor thingy will bring in both of them. Whatever. Okay, the last thing I think I need to do here then is say, when I compile all this, where is that here? Run generators and update compilation. So now we have an output compilation. Okay. And what we want to do is, I think we want to just say here, emit. What's emit difference? Squirrel. Emits the differences between the compilation and the previous generation for edit and continue. Oh, yeah, we're not going to go there. We're not going to mess with that. Can you just emit to a stream? Yes, you can. I used to do this. I'm going to say using var output stream is equal to new memory stream, right? And then we're going to say here, pass in a output stream. There we go. Our result is equal to that. What does result give us? Success. Should be success, right? Why are you not giving me any? That's awesome that you can't even do any IntelliSense off of that. Come on, really? That's a bool. So we should be able to say here is that assert that result dot success is true. And we also want to assert that the compilations diagnostics result dot diagnostics. Anyway, we should not have any error warnings, right? So let's pause again one more time for rerunning this because I don't know how long it's going to take now to add the compilation onto it or what that's going to do, but we're going to find out. So one more time, hopefully. Well, well. 2 failed. Why did they fail? Expected true is false. We expected true is false. You know, because reasons. What are we in? Release. Let's make it debug. I think it did the right thing. Yes, it did. Okay. So that was kind of interesting that they all kind of, but that's potentially good. We want to find out why a compilation of the output would actually fail. So let's see what happens. So let's do it with the create first. Okay. Run that under the debugger and see what happens. Okay, we're back. So it's saying success. If I hover over this, are you doing this stupid thing where you're not? Oh, I should, while I was waiting for this to finish, what may have happened too with the 2022 recorder is that there are keys. I've complained about this before. There are hotkeys that have maps that map to things that you do in Visual Studio, and like F9, F10, I think one of them was actually stop. And I might have done that when I was saying run stuff, and then it just stopped the recording altogether. I'm not sure, but I remember fixing that in 2021, and I might have to put that back in 2022. So I'm not going to completely outrule it just yet. Okay, so we should have result there. Okay. Oh my God. 8,571 errors. Well, wow. Well, this just got interesting. And I don't know why it got interesting. Well, what I was meaning by saying that is it just got interesting because this is huge failures. And why it's doing this, I don't know. I'm saying in the generated code, I just want to have a class that has one method that just keeps saying R of whatever rock create. It doesn't actually do any expectations. It doesn't actually try to create it. It's trying to force the compiler to generate it, which, geez, excuse me. You can see that that's happening because the diagnostics have things in here that are saying like com wrappers rock create. There's a syntax error in there. Why would there be a syntax error in there? You know, that makes no sense, but there is. And this is kind of a little, you know, this might just be one of those things that, what's interesting too is that there's floating point. It looks like it's actually, is it pulling in some of the things that are coming from .NET 7? It shouldn't, because I'm not referencing the latest from this, but there is actually a whole bunch of things in here. So this is potentially going to take, well, it's going to take more than one episode, but this might also be one of those things of this is leading towards the fact that I actually have errors that I have no idea about. And I need to now start picking these off one by one. So I might like just take text writer, rock create, and pass that in. Now, what this does is, I want to just think about this real quick, because what I would like this to do is say, fine, go through all this, but change types here, because I found like 398 is to actually go through types and say, I don't know how to say this, line out that code and then just say it's like a new type array of the thing I'm going to be targeting, and then let this go on. And if it did this up top, that's fine. It can do. I want to somehow, as I'm debugging this, find a very simple way to say, okay, here's one type, run it. Hopefully I get the same error, and then I can actually look at the generated code and figure out what's going on. So I think this might be lending itself to more than just one episode, but that's fine. That's fine. It's fine. All right. So thank you all for watching. Leave comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.